I would like to invite, please, Charlie, Georgia, Paul, Jenny and Daniel to join me up on stage. So we thought it was really, really important to actually have the opportunity to hear the voices of some young people in the city, and that's what we're about to do now. So if you just give us a few moments and we'll have a conversation on stage. Hello? No? Okay, so rather than having a group of young people up on stage behind a lectern, probably doing a far better job than I could ever hope to do, what we've said is we're going to have a bit of a conversation, just so you can hear directly their voice about their hopes, aspirations for the future and what's going well for them, and some of their experiences as well. So, good morning, Charlie. Thanks ever so much for coming. You're a student at Templemore. Can you tell me a bit about how things are going for you, please?
Things are going really well. I'm doing good in lessons, work's prepared for me in Braille, and I hope to get a good job out of all of everything I do in Templemore.
That's fine. Hello? Seamless. So, Charlie, I'm going to go a little bit off script here. Apologies. You talked about wanting a job, didn't you? What's your ideal job? What would you like to do?
I don't know yet, but just something that's really good.
Thank you. And have you made lots of new friends at your school?
Yes, we talk every day, and I go to this group called Actionaires where we can make new friends and do fun activities. And over the next few years at Templemore, I hope to make even more new friends.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So, Georgia, you're currently at Templemore School as well. Are there any subjects you study there that you'd like to continue once you've left school?
Yeah, well, there's drama I really like, and I would really hope to be in the theatre when I'm older. Oh, and there's also food technology, because I feel really creative with my recipes that I make in school, and it would lead on to further good things in life.
So one day, do you hope to have your own home and live independently?
Yeah, well, like I've just said, it would be really well for me to have the food skills that I have. I would really love to try really hard in school so I can buy my own house, and I like doing stuff for myself, so...
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Georgia. Okay, so, Paul, you're a student from Swarthmore. Can you tell us a bit about why you chose to go to Swarthmore, please, and the types of things that you currently do there?
I started at Swarthmore because they work with people that have learning disabilities or physical disabilities, and it's they give more one-to-one support, and it's a lot more conducive atmosphere to work in rather than mainstream college and schools, and it's you just meet lots of new people and make friends and quite easily. People, you can just fit in with people very, very easily.
So I know when we met and rehearsed this, you talked to me about wanting to get your own place and live independently. Can you share your experiences, please, about trying to find your own place?
Yeah. Trying to find my own place to live has been very stressful, very difficult as well. I found various flats that could have been possibilities for me to live in, but I've had OT go out and assess the places, and they've said it's not really suitable for me because of my disabilities and physical limitations. So unfortunately I've had to turn down those flats, but it's been after that I've probably had to wait what feels like a couple of months before anything else happens. That could be even before anything comes up, or before I can even view a new place to live. I've been told I'm on the priority band A, which is the highest, and which is for people with learning problems, physical problems, or whatever it might be, and it just doesn't seem right that I have to wait for a long time before anything happens.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's very good to hear you've got priority A status, and hopefully it won't be too long before a suitable flat comes available for you. And thanks for sharing your experiences there. Jenny, good morning. You're also a Swarthmore student. Can you tell us a bit about why you chose to go to Swarthmore, please, and the type of things you do there?
I started at Swarthmore about 4 years ago, after being really isolated. I didn't really socialise much. I didn't really want to go out, and I had a bit of a breakdown because it made me feel rubbish, and I decided that I want to overcome all these obstacles that I face with anxiety and stuff, and I just decided that I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna get a routine set and really try in society rather than just locking myself away. So my social worker found me Swarthmore, a place where I could do my GCSEs, because that's what I wanted to do, because you need GCSEs to sustain quite a good job, and that's what I wanted. And I was really anxious at first, but I settled in straight away. Everyone was so nice, and it's just like a family there, really. It's really comfortable and it's inclusive, if you know what I mean. It's not like a big college and you don't have a fear of getting lost or anything like that. But yeah, I'm leaving this year, which will be like a little end of an era, but I've got to move on. But yeah.
Which almost makes it look like we've rehearsed this, and leads me straight into the next question, which is, you're currently on a support internship placement, aren't you, with the council? Can you tell us a bit about this, please?
I started the internship about 2 months ago. So far, I've really enjoyed it. Not only has it helped me with my confidence, but I've been learning some really good advanced skills that I can transfer between workplace. Do admin, do a lot of data inputting, and help Vicky a lot, who supports me. She's really, really nice. And I feel very lucky that I've had the opportunity to go on it. It's really, really, I've really enjoyed it and find it very useful. And I hope it turns into paid work.
Absolutely. And on that note, that's precisely what the ambition of the support internships are, that they have a real opportunity to learn and develop those skills in the workplace, with at the end of the course to sustain long-term paid employment. So I too hope, if we were having a conversation in another 6 months' time, we'd actually be saying, you're now fully employed. So fingers crossed, and I know you're doing a fabulous job for us in Children's Services, so thank you. Okay, Daniel, you're a graduate mentor. No, you're not. You're a graduate MenCap Young Ambassador. Clearly, I don't know what that is. Could you tell us a little bit about it, please?
Alright, so the point behind Graduate Young Ambassador is to raise awareness of learning disability, and part of that involves showcasing the very best of what we have to offer, because if you think about it, it's not really a disability as such, it's more a different way of thinking, and we've still got a lot of skills and talents that we can bring into the melting pot or the birther per se. So as part of that, we do community impact projects, which are basically the way that we prove what we're capable of doing. So I've been involved in several projects during my time here as both a young ambassador and a graduate young ambassador, but I'm going to focus on two, which is the when we were, first of all, we were giving back to the community. So the way that we did that when I was a young ambassador was that we had a group of elderly people who didn't know how to use technology. They'd got these iPads, the Galaxy tablets, stuff like that, but they needed a bit of a helping hand in order to be able to use them to their fullest ability. So what we did as a group of young ambassadors was we went and actually showed them how to use the technology, make sure they understood, and I believe several of us as well, like after they'd understood, gave them a chance to do it themselves, just so we could see for ourselves that they knew what they were doing. So essentially, using our expertise to give others expertise. The other project that we did, which was more recent, which I did as a graduate young ambassador, was where during Easter we were raising awareness of learning disability. So we were offering Easter eggs to people in return for either a donation or answering a question about learning disability, which you'll get to see those questions for yourself later on. Spoiler alert there. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, Daniel. So I know when we spoke and we met for the first time, you come across really, really passionately about how much you want to increase people's awareness about your, not just yours, but all learning disabled and disabled people's skills, attributes and talents. You also talked to me about something you did at your English GCSE piece that actually sparked this sort of interest for you. Can you just briefly tell us a bit about that, please?
Something I fondly remember. So, what you were talking about there, my English GCSE, what we had to do was we had to give a talk on the serious issues. So, a lot of people chose things like murder, genocide, war, things like that. Quite dark and gloomy topics, if we're being honest. I chose to go on a lighter, well, a more positive but still serious note, and actually talk about autism spectrum disorder and how it affects us. So you get an idea of some of the challenges we face. You also get an idea of how to deal with us, but as well as that, you also get an idea of some of the strengths that we bring, such as myself. I'm pretty much technologically mad. So the way that worked was, first of all, I did the talk in my English class and got an A star for that. So what that led on to doing was when I got into sixth form, the head of sixth form asked me, can you give the talk to the sixth formers at the school? Which I was like, yeah, let's do this, more awareness. I saw it as a positive. So I went around giving the talk to the sixth form, and then things snowballed from there. So the other year groups, the heads of years also asked me to do it for their year groups. I had other schools in contact with me asking me to deliver the talk to their students, and also things like health professionals, parents of people with learning disabilities, carers, basically a wide spectrum of people that enabled me to raise awareness and understanding of the condition. So what happened from there? The way that the outcomes that this brought about, I'm going to focus on the school outcomes because they're the ones that are most prominent in my mind. In that people found themselves more understanding of people with learning disability. They knew what they were dealing with when they had someone with autism. They understood that we were just human beings, and as a result, they started treating us with respect and dignity, stopped bullying us, mostly. There was still the odd numpty around that kept doing it, but there's nothing really much you can do about that. And as well, following on from that, it's like at the Young Ambassador thing again, when we did the learning disability quiz, it was again to try and gauge people's awareness, and if they weren't aware of something, raise their awareness of it.
Thank you very much. There was at least 2 shouts and plugs for a quiz that I think you've realised we're about to do. But before we do, I for one found that really, really helpful just to hear from some young people. Can we offer up a massive round of applause, please?